Welcome, 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 curios, weirdos, and everything in between. So tonight, Dorian Gray has unalived his best friend. Okay. He blackmailed another man to destroy that body and decided the perfect place to unwind is an opium den. Because, apparently therapy is fully booked. But while he's down there running from his conscience, he bumps into Adrian Singleton. Remember the guy who got locked up for forgery? That guy. And one very angry ghost from his past. The fiance whose name he never knew. Yeah, her brother James. Baby. Revenge has found Dorian, but can he recognize a man whose face refuses to age? Grab your emotional support portraits, y'all. The consequences are knocking, and them chickens are coming home to roost, baby. So let's get started with the picture of Dorian Gray. Well, not started, but let's continue on. I'm going to throw Oreo Jr. over there and let me introduce y'all. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Curio Storyteller, where we take books from yesterday and we revisit them like old friends. We cosplay some of the characters, and then, like a good old weirdo book club, we break down what we read and kind of figure out what did we read? How did it make us feel? What did we learn, if anything? So let us get started with let's continue our journey on, I should say, with Dorian Gray, who is a hot mess.
All right.
A cold rain began to fall, and the blurred streetlights looked eerie in the dripping mist. The moon hung low in the sky like a yellow skull. Dorian wanted to forget about the past few hours. I feel like that's his problem. He just want to forget everything. He wanted to go to the portrait. He want his friend to take care of the body. Like, sir, that's your problem. Okay. Dorian Gray hailed a cab and told the driver to take him to the docks. He screamed at the man to drive faster and faster. On the way, they passed public houses that were just closing and the men and women who were clustered in broken groups around the door. From some of the bars came sounds of terrible laughter. In others, drunk brawls and screaming. Okay. It's the at the club scene. Lying back in the handsome cab, with his hat pulled over his forehead, Dorian Gray watched with dull eyes the sordid shame of London. Are you watching it or are you the shame, sir? That's the question. Get back to this book, though. He repeated to himself the words that Lord Henry had said to him on that fateful day when they met in Basil's studio. To cure the soul by means of the senses, and the senses by means of the soul. Yes, thought Dorian, that was the secret. I don't get a good feeling about what that's. I don't know what that saying means, but I don't get a good feeling from it, especially if it pertains to Dorian and Lord Henry. They are not a good. They're a toxic pair. But okay. There were opium dens where one could buy oblivion. Yes, that was the answer. He had done it before and would do it again. The hideous hunger for opium seized him. Suddenly, the driver drew up the horses with a jerk at the top of the dark lane. Over the low roofs and jagged chimney stacks of the houses rose the black masses of ships. A wreath of white mist clung like ghostly sails to the shipyard. Somewhere about here, sir, ain't it? Said the driver. Dorian started and peered around. This will do. Y'all think that driver know that he about to drop this man off to go get some opiums? Because I was like, sir, where you going? I would ask. Okay, but back to the story. Dorian started and peered around. This will do, he answered hurriedly and gave the man the extra shillings he had promised him. He quickly walked in the direction of the docks. Here and there, a lantern gleamed. The light shook, and a red glare flickered from an outward bound coal steamer. The slimy pavement looked eerie and dangerous. Ew. Dorian Gray hurried towards the left, glancing back now and then to see if he was being followed. In about 7 or 8 minutes, he reached the small, shabby place that housed the opium den. He stopped and gave the secret knock. Scott, what do you think the secret knock is? Give him the secret knock. Scott, you just copied mine. Okay.
What am I supposed to say? It's the only secret knock I know.
He stopped and gave the secret knock that admitted him. In one corner, a sailor sprawled over a table. At the bar, 2 women were drinking. At the far end of the room, there was a little staircase leading to a darkened, musty chamber. As Dorian hurried up its 3 steps, the heavy odor of opium met him. Okay. He heaved a deep breath, and his nostrils quivered with anticipation. When Dorian entered, a young man with blonde hair who was bending over a lamp lighting a long, thin pipe looked up at him and nodded. He was thin, wasted, with a look of doom about him. I mean, he's in an opium den, sir. Usually you don't have a bright future there, so. I didn't realize you would be here, Adrian, said Dorian. Where else would I be? He answered listlessly. None of my friends will speak to me now. I thought you had left England, said Dorian. Darlington is not going to do anything. My brother paid the bill at last. I don't care about anything anymore. Adrian sighed. As long as I have opium, I don't need any friends. Those are like famous fast words. Those are famous last words right there. Like, sir, you going out with a, I guess, a bang, or at least a pop, pop, pop. Dorian Gray winced and looked at the other people on the floor. They were lying on raggedy mattresses in grotesque, strange positions. The twisted limbs, the gaping mouths, the staring eyes made them look like creatures from another world. But Dorian knew what they felt and what had driven them to this terrible place to escape their own thoughts and deeds, aka an escape. Memory was eating away at him. He kept seeing the eyes of Basil looking at him. He needed opium to forget, yet something bothered him. The presence of Adrian in the corner, a man Basil had accused him of destroying, troubled him. He wanted to be where no one knew who he was. He wanted to escape himself. Once again, sir, that is the problem. That's the problem. But let's get back. Not wanting to stay, Dorian turned around and walked to the door with a look of pain on his face. A hideous laugh broke from the painted lips of one of the women. Prince Charming! Are you leaving us? She cackled as he departed. Curse you, he answered. Don't call me that. She snapped her fingers. Prince Charming is what you used to like to be called, ain't it? She yelled at him in a high-pierced shriek. The drowsy sailor leapt to his feet as she spoke and looked at him wildly. Like, He rushed out in hot pursuit. Dorian Gray hurried along the quay through a drizzling rain, I'm sorry. He wondered if the ruin of Singleton's life was his fault. What y'all think? Put it in the comment section. I think yes, sir. Yes. But how are we still in denial, sir? How are we there? Sorry, this man is too much for me. He just refuses to take any accountability for anything he's done. But let me continue. Let me get back in this book. As Basil had said, yes, you ruined his life, sir. What did Adrian matter to him? His life, his ruin, none of Dorian's concern. Then why you over there taking your opium to go, sir? Why are you even doing the opium, sir, if it's none of your concern? That's my question. Calloused and concentrated on evil, Dorian quickened his pace, hoping to enter another opium den. He darted into a dark archway, a shortcut to the degrading place, when suddenly he was seized from behind. Before he had time to defend himself, he was thrust against the wall with a brutal hand around his throat. In a second, he heard the click of a revolver, saw the gleam of a gun pointed straight at his head, and the dusky form of a short, muscular man facing him. What do you want? Dorian gasped. What have I done to you? Sir, it could be, sir. You are far from an upstanding citizen, sir. It could be anything. Take a pick. Anyway, sorry, let me. Keep quiet, said the man. If you move, I'll pew-pew you. You wrecked the life of Sybil Vane, my sister, he charged. She unalived herself, and you were responsible for her death. I swore I would unalive you in return. I had no clue, no trace, because you fools did not exchange names. Some of that is in the book, some of it's not. So, you pick, you tell me. I knew only your pet name, Prince Charming. I heard it tonight. Make your peace with God, for you are about to unalive. Dorian grew sick with fear. I never knew her, he pleaded. I never heard of her. You are mad. You had better confess your sin, for as sure as I am James Vane, you are going to unalive. Down to your knees, he commanded. It's going to be execution style. I give you 1 minute to make, I give you 1 minute to make your peace. No more. I board a ship for India tonight, and I must do this first. Wow. Dorian was paralyzed with terror. He did not know what to say or do when suddenly a wild hope that flashed across his brain. Stop, Dorian cried. How long ago did your sister unalive? Quick, tell me. 18 years, replied James Vane. Why did you ask me? What do years matter? 18 years, laughed Dorian, with a touch of triumph in his voice. See me under the light and look closely at my face. James Vane hesitated. Then he seized Dorian and dragged him into the light. As dim as the wind-blown lantern was, it showed him the error he was about to make. This man could be no more than 20. He had all the bloom of boyhood. Indeed, he seemed hardly older than his sister had been at the time of her unaliving. He was not the man who had destroyed his sister's life. James Vane felt he had almost unalived the wrong person. No, sir, you feeling wrong. This the right, he the right one. He loosened his hold on Dorian Gray and wheeled back. My God, he cried. I almost unalived you. Forgive me. A chance word in that damned opium den sent me on the wrong track. I'm gonna say this. This is maybe controversial. Okay, I'm gonna just say this. You ready? Mm-hmm. Dorian Gray actually had a good plan right there. That actually was smart. He did some quick thinking on his feet, but it's probably because he had good practice being a criminal for 18 years, child. Okay, it mess. Uh-huh. But it was really smart. I'm not saying he's right. I'm just saying it was real clever. That's it. Anyway, let me get back to this book. You know, you got to give a little credit where credit's due. I'll be dragging them a lot, so I want to big up, give them a little, positive. Yeah. But let me get back to this book. My God. Oh, wait. That was the wrong place. Sorry, I read that. He released Dorian, who hurried away. James Vane stood on the pavement in horror. After a little while, a black shadow creeped out. Why did you unalive him? Hissed the decrepit woman who had been at the bar. Dang. I mean, I knew you were following him when you rushed out. You should have unalived him. He has lots of money and is as bad can be. I want no man's money. I want a man's life. He's not the man I'm looking for. My man will be nearly 40 by now. That one is little more than a boy. The woman gave a bitter laugh. A boy? Why, it's 18 years since Prince Charming made me what I am. Girl, what he make you? Like, what he do to her? What y'all think he did to her? Like, what you mean made you what you am? What are you? and what did he do? Anyway. They say he sold himself to the devil for a pretty face. He hasn't changed in 18 years, she added with a sickly leer. Let me show y'all a sickly leer. You know, he did something to her. Anyway. You lie, cried James. She raised her hand to heaven. Before God, I am telling the truth. He is the worst one who comes here. James Vane rushed into the street to find Dorian Gray, but he was gone. When he looked back, the woman had also vanished. Okay, she said, let me get out of here. This man crazy. A week later, Dorian Gray was sitting in the halls of Shelby Royal, his country house, talking to the pretty Duchess of Monmouth, who, with her husband, a weary-looking man of 60, were among his 12 guests. Relieved he had eluded the violent James Vane, he held a lavish dinner party on his estate. There was a wild recklessness in his manner. Is there ever not a wild recklessness in his manner? Anyway, back to this story. He was entertaining his friends. People still want to be friends with this man after all that foolishness. Okay, let me just keep going. Sorry, y'all. He was entertaining his friends with clever stories when he caught a face pressed against the window. He began to tremble as he caught his breath. James Vane was there and watching him. James Vane about to get in trouble because, sir, weren't you supposed to be on the Navy ship going to India, sir? You AWOL, James. Okay. Is it worth it? Is it going to be worth it, sir? The next day, he did not leave the house. He spent most of the time in his room, sick with the fear of unaliving. The sense of being haunted and tracked down began to dominate him. Whenever he closed his eyes, he could see the sailor's angry face peering at him through the misty glass. Perhaps he had only been dreaming. Sybil Vane's brother had not come back to unalive him. He had sailed away on a ship to India. And after all, the man did not know who he was. The mass of youth had saved him. Even if it had been an illusion, how terrible to be haunted by ghosts. Maybe you should go back to the opium den. I'm kidding. What sort of life would he have, always tortured by his past crimes? Oh, how dare, the thought of it. Why had he unalived Basil? Why had he given in to the moment of madness? He relived the unaliving over and over and saw each hideous detail of his crime. Finally, he calmed down. He convinced himself that he had been a victim of an overactive imagination. After 3 days of staying in his house, imprisoned by his fears, he organized a hunting party for his guests and ventured out into the pine woods. The freshly scented air that winter morning seemed to bring him back to life. After breakfast, he walked with the Duchess for an hour in the garden and then rode his horse across the park to join the pew-pew party. Y'all think he's trying to talk to that Duchess, even though her husband there? Y'all think he's trying to talk to her? Why you walking with that woman for an hour? And why you always sitting next to her giggling? You trying to steal that man's wife or what? Anyway. He joined Sir Geoffrey, who was aiming his rifle at a rabbit in the distance. He fired, and there were 2 cries heard. One, the cry of an animal in pain. The second, a man in agony. This sounded like some Dick Cheney type stuff. Remember Dick Cheney, the vice president? Accidentally pew-pewed that dude while they was hunting. This is okay. It's giving that. Okay. Good heavens, exclaimed Sir Geoffrey. I hit a man. So did Dick Cheney, sir. In a few moments, the groundsman dragged the body away. Dorian turned in horror. It seemed that misfortune followed him wherever he went. Is misfortune following you, sir, or are you following misfortune? I don't know. I don't know anymore. I don't know anymore. Okay. But let me get back to this book. The unalived man had caught the full charge of the shot in his chest, and had unalived instantly. No one knew who he was. They guessed that since he had tattoos on both arms, he might be a sailor. I wonder who that could be. Later on, hearing this news, Dorian jumped to his feet. He felt as if his heart had suddenly stopped beating. A terrible hope fluttered in him. Did you saw a sailor? Ooh, that's a typo. Did you see a sailor is what they meant. Is there anything that would tell us his name? Where is the body? I must see it at once. It's in an empty stable at the home farm, sir, answered one of his men. The local people didn't like to have that sort of thing in their house. They say a corpse brings bad luck. Okay, I mean, does it bring as much bad luck as Dorian Gray does? I mean, there are people all up in the opium dens trying to get him hemmed up. So, I mean, I would prefer the corpse over Dorian Gray, but that's just me. Dorian decided to go to the stable himself. He leapt into a horse and raced towards the farm, galloping down the long avenue as hard as he could. The trees swept past him, and the wild shadows flung themselves across the path. The stones flew from beneath his horse's feet. At last, he reached the house farm. He dismounted and hurried to the stable door. There he paused for a moment, feeling he was on the brink of an important discovery, a discovery that would either make or destroy his life. On a heap of sacking lay the unalive body of a man in a coarse shirt and brown trousers. A spotted handkerchief had been placed over his face. A candle stuck in a bottle, dripping slowly beside it. Dorian shuddered, but he steeled himself and removed the cloth from the battered face. The man who had been pew-pewed in the woods was James Vane. I'm mad he didn't get Dorian, but you know. He stood there for some minutes, looking at the unalive body. As he rolled home, Dorian felt an enormous weight lift because yet again he escaped consequences. Some of that is in the book, some of it ain't. You be the judge of that. He was safe at last. We gonna end it there. And by the way, before we get into our parting words, tomorrow's the last day of Dorian Gray. I'm so sad, but I'm proud that we finished this book. So, let me end it. So, curios and weirdos, what did we learn, if anything? Now, I'm going to just give a little brief, couple of parting words for me. James Vane, Sybil's brother, finally found the man who destroyed his sister, but Dorian's unchanging face kind of protected him. He was a little slick. This time, at least. Then James followed him home, ready to deliver some consequences, and got accidentally pew-pewed during a hunting party before he could get him, Dorian calls that relief, but I call that another ignored red flag. And there are several. Baby, the portrait knows the bodies are piling up and chance may have saved him today, but something tells me the bill is still in the mail, baby. And more chickens are headed home to roost. I'm going to, start off by asking you, what did you guys learn? Well, no, we're not even going to do that. I'm going to change the question, the end question. My question to you guys is, since tomorrow is the last day, how do you guys predict this is going to end? You guys put it in the comment section. Scott, you get the pleasure of, just saying it aloud to the people.
I think that, like you said, the chickens are coming home to roost. I think it's all going to catch up to Dorian, and it's going to meet his end.
Can't keep putting all that bad karma out thinking it ain't going to return to you. Well, my prediction is going to be, I don't know. Dorian thinks that, James Vane unalive means he's safe, because he's all relieved and stuff. But when every witness disappears and every consequence disappears before reaching you, you are sometimes not blessed. Sometimes you are given just enough rope to finish the job yourself. But again, what do you guys think? We want to hear what you guys think. We want to hear your thoughts. So with that, we're going to end this thing. So, as always, guys, we had such a good time hanging out with you guys, and hope you had a good time hanging out with us. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, check out some other videos, live shorts, all that fun stuff, because this channel is not just about us, it's about you guys as well. So with that, we're going to bid you guys adieu today. So, guys, from wherever we are, not in the opium den, to wherever you guys are, peace and love and happiness, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for our last chapters of Dorian Gray, but also some more. It's a super scary Saturday sleepover. So we'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.